Hey guys, Shank back with another Road Warships video. This is the next one where I was telling you I was going to go through the 4.1 update notes. I'm looking at them right here. So first off, ranked battles. You can see that it's here, but it's not actually started yet. Yeah, season 1 weekend 5 days. So that's when I'm expecting that's when the game goes full open. But I mean, it is the 11th. Okay, so is it? Oh, well, it's actually the 12th already in Europe and Russia. So I'm guessing 5 days is when this game goes fully live. Rank Battle's new game mode aimed at allowing you to match yourself against other similarly skilled captains. So that's supposed to be skill-based ranking or matchmaking, I should say. The matchmaking that takes place in ranked battles is supposed to be 7v7 domination mode only, and it only matches like level or like tiered ships versus like tiered ships and players that are in the same. I'm guessing goes off your profile. Let's see, summary here. Let's co-op on with that. Guessing it goes off your random battle stats. And you get a star for each victory, which promotes you to the next level. And if you lose, you lose stars, which puts you back down a level. So the more you lose, the less rank you have. You can go all the way back to starting at 9, and then start all over. Achieving certain ranks, as well as for your final rank during a ranked battle season, you'll get rewards like in-game goods, which, like I say, it says ranked battles will take place on New Dawn, North, and Fault Line only. Those 3 maps. So that should be interesting. Let's see what else it says here. I think they said it's only tier 5 through 7 ships that are going to be in the first season. Doesn't say in this one. It says each team will have no more than 1 aircraft carrier, no more than 2 battleships. So it'll be mostly cruisers and destroyers, I would hope. But I mean, with having 3 out of 7 being carrier and 2 battleships, you know, who knows what the mix will be in there. They fixed some stuff on the maps New Dawn and Fault Line, and the main thing that I love is wow, even shows you all that new stats. This is all the new stats that they show you since 4.1. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about in a second here. But you can see most damage caused in a battle, 152k, damage 18,965,358 so far. Base defense points 7, capture points, damage, average results per battle, warships destroyed, battles played, blah 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 blah. Warships destroyed in battle 5 so far. I've been trying to get above that lately, but 4.1 kind of nerfed the battleship accuracy. It's really hard for me to personally to hit citadels on ships anymore with battleship weapons. I used to be able to do it pretty easily, but I don't know what they did. Disabled the initial diagonal placement of teams in the domination mode on the hotspot map, which is amazing because instead of having you start, I don't know if you can understand here because it's the map, but let's say this whole picture is the map. Instead of having you start down here and then the other part of your team start up here in the diagonal corner, now you all start on the south side or the north side. And that is great because people were complaining massively about how you had unfair advantages depending on where you started in that map, and it also screwed people up because you try and get to cap points in the middle and nobody would follow you, or they'd go around one bunch of ships would go out this side and you try and go the middle across to meet up with the other team. Nobody would come to the middle. Everybody from the top would come right into the middle, or the bottom would come right in the middle, or at least off to the east side so they could see you, and then everybody starts shooting at you because you were the first thing that they could see. It was just ridiculous. Now you're all on one side. You start on, across the bottom of the map like most other rounds, on the top of the map, and then it's more even the way people wanted it in the first place. So moving on, they added 2 new maps, Strait and Solomon Islands. If you haven't played them yet, you're missing out. They're pretty nice. implement a mirror balance for aircraft carriers in terms of their number and tier in almost all cases, which seems to have worked for aircraft carriers because I don't see mismatched tier aircraft carriers in any rounds lately. I do see mismatched tiers of basically everything else in Matchmaker now that 4.1 has come out. Implement a limit on the number of battles that you can have where your ship tier is lower than the level of the battle. Which I don't really understand what that means, but now the Matchmaker distributes destroyers more evenly between teams, which I've seen that be completely untrue. Last time I had to run where it was four destroyers on one side, one destroyer on the other team. Is ridiculous. Import the AA characteristic scale has been changed. That means the AA rating for most of your ships will change. Don't panic, nothing about your ship's AA or AA fire in general has been affected. So just the rating metric. So for Japanese ships, the chance for setting enemy ships on fire is set at a maximum for 200mm and 203mm caliber guns. All other calibers have a lower chance. Excuse me, so you have a better chance of lighting people on fire with cruiser guns, basically. That means Aoba with, let's go to modules here so you can see, Aoba with 203s, Miyoko with 203s, and the next tier here, Mogami, you get what 55 straight and 203s with the upgrade. Those have massive amounts of being, and they toggle as well, 203s. Those have way easier time of being able to hit people and light them on fire, and also the Pensacola and everything above the Pensacola. Oh shit, I don't want that. Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. Alright, so Pensacola gets 203s, and then everything above this gets 203s. New Orleans, Baltimore, Des Moines. Des Moines does 203s with 10 rounds a minute. Oh, so nice. Port. Warships back up here. For all destroyers are at a fourth point where fires may potentially be started, so basically you can have 4 fires going on your destroyer all at once, and at that point you're basically screwed, because if you use your repairs and you just put out the fires and they light you on fire some more, or hit you a lot with HE, you're either going to be blown up by the HE or you're going to be burned down by the fires, because, I mean, we all know destroyers don't have that much hit points. You know what's going to happen if you get lit on fire in more than one place. For all ships, increase gun accuracy at close quarters. So 0.2 kilometers to 4 kilometers, you have better accuracy for CQC. Which, I mean, hopefully you're not getting into CQC, especially with battleships, because if you're going up against a cruiser with torpedoes, or even any destroyer, basically, you're going to get wrecked hard, because you're never going to be able to get out of the way of those torpedoes before you can kill them most of the time. The value of hit into the middle part of a destroyer was reduced to match the value of hits into the bow or stern of these ships. Now, alpha strike damage to the bow, stern, superstructures, and the central part of the ship will not differ. So basically, no matter where you hit them, you're going to do the same amount of damage. For all ships, change the display of the rudder shift time. The time itself remains the same. Change affects its display only. Engine boost ability no longer affects the visibility of the ship. So that's nice, because engine boost on destroyers, if you've ever seen that, boosts smokestack output just because you're dumping a lot more steam or oil into the engines to make them run faster. Extend the duration of the hydroacoustic search consumable from 40 to 90 seconds, which is really nice, even though I don't really understand how it works, and I haven't really noticed it helping me spot anything. For US destroyers, extend the duration of smoke charges from 20 to a range between 22 and 30 seconds, depending on the tier of destroyer. So higher tier destroyers will get a longer smoke charge. You get extended duration of the smoke charge from 65 to 97 seconds, depending on the tier of the ship, to 106 to 130 seconds. Crazy. I didn't realize that, because that was the first time I ran through here. USA beginning at tier 6 will introduce the defensive fire consumables, which is Cleveland gets that defensive AA fire, which I could have sworn it had before at tier 6. I thought that they were adding it at tier 5, but it's not in here. Even the Murmansk doesn't get that. Murmansk still gets that hydroacoustic search and no upgrade to anti-air. But I mean, the Omaha and the Murmansk are basically the same ship, and their AA is pretty amazing without a boost in the without a added boost in there. So what else we got? For destroyers, Farragut and Benson, the AA defense-oriented hulls are now available for research, which I've looked at those. I haven't really noticed a difference between the base hull and the upgraded hull. Let's see, where is it? USA. The Benson is, wow, tier 8. Farragut is tier 6. You have this hull, which you can see adds 2 AA mounts, and +1 to maneuver, or was it? +2 to defense, and then you get this one, which is +5 to AA defense, which I'm guessing it just adds more guns on this hull. Even though it's the same amount of mounts, it adds more guns to the mounts. I'm guessing that's what the difference is. Same with the Benson. Let's see what else we got here. Cleveland fixed the incorrect armoring of the 152mm turrets, which, let's see. I mean, they look the same, but I'm guessing they changed the armor rating of the turrets. As you can see, they basically look the same as they did before. Let's see, Wyoming fixed the incorrect armoring of the turrets there. Decrease the traverse speed of the main turrets, decrease the traverse speed of the 50 Mark 7, the 12-inch 50 Mark 7 guns to 3.5 degrees per second on Wyoming, which, you know, I don't really understand that because Wyoming was pretty well, I mean, I had good games in Wyoming, but it wasn't that good of a ship in reality. Omaha, Marblehead, and Phoenix. The 150mm Mod 2 shells was replaced with 150mm. I'm guessing they just changed the name of the shell. They increased the firing range for the top hull of the cruiser Omaha. So now the Omaha has the same firing range here, 14.8 kilometers, as the Murmansk, 14.8 kilometers, whereas the Omaha here used to have a 12.8 kilometer range, I believe, which was kind of ridiculous when you had the exact same ship in the Murmansk and you had a longer firing range in the Murmansk. Firing range in this case from New Orleans fixed the related to power of 80 defenses, which I don't really worry about. Samson and the Wicks increased the rate of fire on the main battery traverse speed on the Wicks. Let's go back to the Wicks here. Tech Trio, USA, Wicks. So now you have upgraded torpedoes. Go to 5 kilometers on the Wicks, tier 3, which is pretty nice. I mean, a tier 3 with 5 kilometer torpedoes and its concealment is 6.7, or surface detectable range is 6.7. You can probably get those into a ship at that tier, maybe. Now you can get the defensive fire consumable on the Benson, which is at 8. Benson is at tier 8. They have a defensive fire capability on this, which is kind of ridiculous because I've never really shot down any aircraft with destroyer anti-air guns. Let's see. Same for the gearing, the sims. Alright, sims. Here we go. Sims got added torpedoes. Torpedo range went from 5.5 kilometers, which is far inside your detectability range because it's 7.3 kilometer detectability range, to 9.2 kilometers. But the fact is, those things only travel at 49 knots and at 9.2 kilometers. They are horrible Rate of fire 0.9 rounds a minute. If you hit anything with those torpedoes, whoever you hit has got to be retarded, because those torpedoes are slow as molasses. They will not be paying attention for those things to hit them. Defense and fire consumable became available in addition to the engine boost consumable on this ship. So you can change from active boost, engine boost to defensive AA fire, which I should have done a while ago. I don't actually know if that does anything, because like I said, I've never really shot down anything with a destroyer. Japan. That was all US stuff. For ships without obvious superstructures, increased by 10% the distance of surface detection. So it affected the aircraft carriers Hosho, Zuiho, and Ryujo. So it didn't actually really affect anything else besides carriers. Let's see. Increase the traverse speed of certain Japanese destroyers, which is nice. Here, I'll show you right here. The nice thing is the Kamikaze. Now, these guns used to be insanely horrible. Even these top ones. Wow. One thing it says is rate of fire. But the top ones here used to be 45-second rotation speed. And Jingle's talked about these being 30-second now, but they're 21.2. The only difference between the base guns and the upper guns is a higher fire rate and the fact that you lose one turret. Actually, never mind, you don't even lose a turret on this one, it's the next one up. Mitsuki. But you lose the 10-kilometer torpedoes that used to be here, and you only get one set of torpedoes, which is the Type 92s, 7 kilometers, 68 knots. If people don't get hit by those, they are pretty good at maneuvering, because those travel almost, I mean, look, those things almost go 70 knots at 7 kilometers, and your detectability range is 6. So you can fire those from outside detectability range, and they won't even know they're coming until they're right on top of them. Detectability range for those torpedoes, I actually don't know what it is. Let's see, does it show on here? There it is. Doesn't show detectability range. Yeah, that's great. Over there. Torpedo range. Nope, doesn't actually show the detectability range of those torpedoes. Sorry for that. Increase the range of the Type 42 Mod 1 torpedoes from 4.5 to 5 kilometers on lower tier destroyers. Reverse speed of the 45 guns from 40 degrees per second to 60 degrees per second on the Wakataki, Minakaze, and Matsuki, which, you know, that shows right there. Now I have a 21-second rotation time on these guns, where it used to be 45 seconds, even slower than most battleships. The base guns on this one are horrible, 30 seconds, and when you upgrade, you get 18-second and 12 round a minute fire rate, compared to 5.6 round per minute fire rate on the base turrets. But the only problem is, when you upgrade this Mitsuki to max, you go from 4 turrets to 2. And these turrets only have one single gun in there. So basically, if you don't hit with these torpedo launchers, you're going to be pretty much screwed, because you're only firing 2 guns, even though you're firing at 12 rounds a minute. And the rotation time is pretty good. But you can still do 2,000 damage per hit, so I've actually killed destroyers with this thing, but it's not that easy. You can see you have 2-3 launchers, the same as the Minakaze, but the problem is the reload time on this is 1.4 rounds per minute. Look at the reload time on the Mitsuki. 0.9 rounds per minute. You're losing half a round per minute just on those upgraded ones. And I mean, you don't gain any fire rate on these, but you gain hit points there, even though they're 6 kilometers, by getting the 10-kilometer ones. And the problem is, with the 6-kilometer ones, you're... Oh, Jesus, come on. You're right at the edge of your detectability range, so unless the person's coming at you or getting close to you at some point, you're probably not going to hit them, and they're probably going to see you before you can turn away from them if you launch those torpedoes. But the good thing is they up the rotation speed. You look at the Kuma here. Rotation speed on these guns, 16.4 seconds. I don't know how good it was before. Furry Taco. Now, these guns used to be 45-second rotation time as well. 36 second? 36 seconds. They lowered them by, what, 9 seconds? Still not that good, but it's better than it was before. The guns load pretty fast as well, and you get 10-kilometer range torpedoes just like on the other one. So basically you can hit stuff from long range with this as well, and it's 13-kilometer firing rate. Plus you're firing 203s on the upgraded guns instead of 200s on the basic ones. Let's see what else we got here. Bunch of carrier stuff, which I don't really play. I tried playing carriers, I didn't really like them. Congo Fuso Nagata Namagi added an intermediate hull as a researchable module, which when you look at the Fuso now, you have a mid-hull, which I could have sworn was there before. Nagato, mid-hull, which I didn't buy, I skipped through it. I'm trying to get to the Nagato's hull, or Nagato's top hull, I should say, because that gives you plus 12 anti-air guns to 20. This one only gives you plus 6. So what's the point of paying 1.15 million and then another 1.8 in order to get the top hull when you can just skip it, go straight to the C hull, have a 16,000 plus hit point, or plus 16,000 hit points, only minus 2 secondary guns, but you get plus 12 AA mounts, so you can actually defend yourself with this upper hull. Yubari gets defensive fire consumable, which is the premium that you could buy early on in the closed beta. Get the $70 pack, you get the Yubari, Grimiyashi, and the Sims. And then you could buy Yubari, Grimiyashi, or Sim by themselves at that point, but you can't even buy any of those anymore. They'll probably put them back on sale at some point. Furry Taco reduce the shift time for the top hull by 1.1 seconds, change the research system. Added Type 8 Mod 2 torpedoes as researchable module. The Miyoko increased probability of fire on the ship by 6.6%, so now the Miyoko got nerfed in more ways than one. Decreased the reload time of the main carry guns by 2 seconds. It seems like they increased the reload of the guns by 2 seconds. Because it used to be you could fire way faster with this thing than you can now. And rotation time is basically the same, but the fire rate went down after 4.1, which kind of sucks because I mean I used to just blast people out of the water with this ship. Now I can still do it, it's just not as easy. And they made it easier to light it on fire, so I mean, what are you doing? Miyoko is one of my favorite ships, and you're just kind of screwing it over. Gami decreased probability of fire on the ship by 6.6%. So basically, the funny thing is, you get increase on the Miyoko, which is more fun, and a decrease on a top tier ship, which is not fun. I mean, what the hell? Minikaze Matsuki increased the technical range from 5.9 to 6.2 kilometers, which is kind of stupid. I mean, if you don't know there's a Minikaze on the other team, then you should be paying more attention. Furry Taco increased rate of fire and the main reverse speed, reduced rudder shift time, increased the traverse speed of the 200mm guns from 4 degrees per second to 5 degrees per second. The Murmansk got a rename on the shells, a bunch of other crap. You can automatic system for handling reports regarding chat misbehavior, people issuing chat bans to players. They added true foliage to all the maps, fixed some sounds, fixed some interface stuff. Added a change that will substantially simplify aiming at a ship moving over the border of the map. Daily number of reports complaints available to a player was increased to 5, which is nice because you see a lot of shit playing in this game lately. And that looks like it. So basically you get a lot of nerfs, derps, map adds, map fixes, and some other junk that some people really don't care about. But anyway, I'll see you next time, and next video should be back to gameplay. Just wanted to put out this update video to tell you what was changed if you didn't already know, and hope you really enjoyed it. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.